The night above the Empire's capital world was calm, endless, and full of shining stars. For centuries, those stars had belonged to the Empire alone. No other race had ever dared to challenge them. They ruled thousands of systems, broke countless civilizations, and called themselves invincible. But tonight, the sky was not silent. High above the black void, the Imperial sensors caught something strange. A small fleet was moving slowly at the edge of their space. It didn't match any known signal. No flag, no ID, no code, just silence. The Emperor's council laughed when they saw the data. Probably smugglers, said one. Or some forgotten scavenger race, said another. None of them cared. The Empire had faced wars, rebellions, even ancient machines, and crushed them all. Yet one old officer kept watching the screen. His hands trembled as he zoomed in on the fleet. The ships were dark, sharp-edged, and glowing faintly with blue light. Their pattern was disciplined, perfect. Too perfect. What world did they come from? He whispered. The AI answered in a flat tone. Origin signal. Traces of Sol system. The room went silent. The Emperor frowned. Sol? He repeated. That world was destroyed. Long ago. But the old officer only stared at the image. A symbol flickered on one of the ships, a small blue planet surrounded by 12 stars. His voice shook as he spoke. Your Majesty, those are humans. For the first time in 1,000 years, the Empire's throne room fell quiet, not with pride, but with something colder. Fear. Long before the Empire ruled the stars, there was a small blue planet called Earth. It was full of oceans, mountains, and dreams. But the Empire came one dark day, burning its skies and cities. Billions died. The survivors went silent, hiding deep under the ashes of their world. The Empire believed humanity was finished. They erased Earth from every star map. No one spoke of it again. To the galaxy, humans were just a forgotten story. But under the ruined crust of Earth, a spark remained. Generations passed. In underground bunkers, humans rebuilt what was lost. They had no sun, no sky, but they had something stronger. Will. They built machines in the dark, crafted ships from the bones of their world, and trained children to dream not of peace, but of return. They called their secret project Storiesanity Fleet. Every engine, every weapon, every piece of metal carried the memory of those who died 2 centuries ago. They didn't build for conquest. They built for justice. One commander, Admiral Kane, stood before the massive flagship, the Phoenix. He looked up at its shining hull and whispered, "Once they took our world, now we take back the stars." The engines roared, lighting the underground hangar like a rising sun. For the first time in hundreds of years, humanity launched into space again. Not as victims, but as vengeance, and far beyond in the Empire's endless sky, the sensors began to whisper of something approaching, fast, silent, and unstoppable. The humans were coming home. The Empire sent a patrol fleet to meet the unknown ships. 50 war cruisers moved through the dark void with shining armor and confidence. Their captains laughed as they locked on the targets. Old human ships? They won't even scratch us, but when the first blast was fired, the laughter stopped. The human fleet didn't break. The energy beams from the Empire vanished into glowing blue shields that shimmered like water. Then, in perfect silence, humanity answered. From the lead ship, the Phoenix, a single pulse fired. It cut through space like a blade of light. One Imperial cruiser exploded without sound. Just a flash, then nothing. The Empire ships scattered, trying to form defense lines, but the humans moved like shadows. Their targeting was perfect. Every shot hit. Every move was planned. Admiral Kane watched calmly from his command deck. "No mercy," he said. "They never gave us any." The alien captain screamed for reinforcements, but no one answered. Communication lines were gone, jammed by human AIs. Panic spread. For the first time, Imperial soldiers felt helpless. When the battle ended, the silence returned, cold and heavy. Out of 50 Empire ships, only 2 remained drifting in space. A distress signal reached the capital. The Emperor's advisors stared in disbelief. "Who could do this?" one whispered. The message from the battlefield carried a single image, an emblem of a blue planet surrounded by stars. Under it were 3 words. Humanity has returned. The Empire called it an accident. The humans called it justice. and across the galaxy fear began to move like a shadow. The news of the defeat spread faster than light. Across the Empire's vast worlds, people whispered the same words in fear. The humans are back. The Emperor ordered silence. No one was allowed to speak of the lost fleet. But silence could not stop fear. Every system felt it. Every soldier knew something was coming that their weapons could not stop. In the dark halls of the Imperial Palace, the High Council gathered again. "We must destroy them before they reach our borders," one general said. Another shouted, "They are just a small fleet. Crush them!" But the Emperor's advisor shook his head. "You don't understand. They destroyed 50 of our warships, without losing one." Far away in deep space, humanity's fleet kept moving. They attacked quietly, choosing weak outposts and communication hubs. Every strike was fast, clean, and merciless. No one knew where they would appear next. Civilians in distant colonies began to hide. Soldiers refused to fight. The once proud banners of the Empire now hung like ghosts over empty cities. In one secret military base, a young officer stared at the stars. "How can they be so strong?" he asked. An old scientist answered softly. "Because they learned from pain. They don't fight for power. They fight for home." The Empire tried to send messages for peace, but every signal vanished before it reached the humans. And then one night, the Empire's main defense network went dark. Screens across the capital city flickered and turned black. A single message appeared on everyone: "We are coming." The fear that once ruled others now ruled the Empire itself. The sky above the Empire's capital burned red. The invasion had begun. Thousands of Imperial ships formed a wall of fire and steel. The humans came from the darkness, silent, precise, unstoppable. Admiral Kane stood inside the Phoenix, watching the chaos unfold. "No more running," he said. "No more hiding. Today we end it." The Empire's fleet opened fire, filling space with endless beams of light. The humans didn't retreat. They moved through the fire like ghosts. Every strike from the Phoenix tore through 10 enemy ships. Their technology looked alien, but it was born from human pain and genius. Inside the Empire's command center, alarms screamed. "They are breaking our lines," shouted a commander. The Emperor watched in disbelief as one planet after another fell silent. How can they defeat us?" he whispered. The old advisor answered softly. "Because they remember what we forgot: fear, loss, and hope." In space, the last Imperial dreadnought turned its cannons toward the Phoenix. The shot hit, shaking the human flagship, but it did not fall. From the fire and debris, the Phoenix rose higher, engines glowing like a new sun. "Humanity does not kneel," Admiral Kane said, his voice echoing across every human ship. "We rise." The final wave of human missiles hit the capital's defense ring. Explosions covered the horizon. The Empire's heart was silent, and in that silence the Emperor sank to his knees. For the first time in all history, the Empire that feared nothing finally feared humanity. When the fires faded, the galaxy was silent once more. The Empire's flag, which had ruled the stars for 1,000 years, drifted through the wreckage of its own pride. Cities burned quietly beneath the glow of shattered moons. From the sky, the human fleet watched. They had won, but no one cheered. There was no victory dance, no celebration, only silence and memory. Admiral Kane stood before the viewing window of the Phoenix. He could see the ruins of the capital world below. "It's over," his officer said softly. Kane shook his head. "No, it begins now." He sent a message across every surviving channel of the galaxy. "We did not come for revenge. We came for peace. The age of fear ends today." The word spread across the stars, reaching planets that had lived under the Empire's shadow for centuries. One by one, enslaved worlds lit their skies with lights of freedom. On Earth, the survivors looked up at their repaired sky. For the first time in generations, sunlight touched the oceans again. Children were born who would never know the word conquered. The once forgotten humans began rebuilding not just their planet, but hope itself. They reached out to the broken worlds of the Empire, helping them heal. Enemies became allies. Silence became song. And in the history of the galaxy, a new chapter was written, not of war or power, but of humanity. In the quiet after the storm, Admiral Kane whispered to the stars, "We were broken once, but we rose, and now the stars are free. The galaxy would never forget the day the Empire fell, and the day humanity rose again.